Good morning. It is the 11th of August, and I am now in, so everyone knows, I am in Zone 7B. Arrived here last night, and I gobbled a couple figs down, and I wanted to kind of gobble them today, but I'm getting hit with birds. You can see here. Let me see if I can. Can you see there how the birds are getting to my figs here? This is a Mount Etna. This is what I call Hardy Chicago, not Chicago Hardy. I went through that before. Just what we used to call it, but here you can see that the birds are pretty aggressive here, and they've been eating my figs. So I ate the ones I could get to last night rather than wait for the video today, because they can be pretty aggressive. But I'm getting a lot of Mount Etna figs here, which let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Beautiful figs. Last night I had some perfectly ripe ones that the birds had missed. There's still some on the tree right now that the birds have missed. And the reason why I'm feeling, and here is wonderful. This is a fig that I've had a very long time. I made a video about this one time. If you want to watch it, the best video, maybe the best video. I don't know. It's always good every year. But Oldies But Goodies is the name of the video. And this is an old classic fig that Ira Condit he was back in the 50s and 60s, probably the greatest figster. And that's what I like to call all of us fig fanatics, figsters. Figsters are like gangsters, but they're good gangsters. They all stick together because they love their figs. But he was the greatest figster of all time, in my opinion, Ira Condit, and did the first crosses. He performed the first crosses in a laboratory and created new varieties, and this is XL. And let's see here. I've got a few of these now getting ripe on the XL. There's another one here. Let me bend it over. Oh, beautiful. That one there is probably ripe enough to eat. Let me feel it. Yeah, that one's ripe enough to eat. But the real excitement, I might as well mention this too. Debbie's gonna kill me. I brought a fig tree. I brought another Ronde Bordeaux, and you know it's one of my favorites. Here's one here that has a little one that's growing right next to the house. It's got a ripe fig on it. Maybe another one, I don't know. I haven't got a chance to really look around too much. But I'm gonna plant this Ronde Bordeaux. Debbie's gonna really, really scalp me. Gosh, this has been an ongoing battle for 30-some years. 44 years, really. Can you imagine that she's put up with me for 44 years? That's amazing in and of itself. So something that needs to be mentioned, I think. But this, again, is a Smith that I've pointed out in the last couple of videos, because every time I come back here, even if it's a week, this thing is growing like a weed. And I've got some nice ripe figs in there. And not ripe. I've got figs in there, if you can see them. I don't know. I showed them before. Let's see. I'm looking forward to those. I looked last night and I didn't see any ripe ones. But there's quite a few little ones in there that are going to be swelling soon. But the highlight for me always is when my wonderful, superb, wonderful tree, my Peter's Honey, begins to ripen its main crop fruits. Of course, the Brevas are superb. They're spectacular. I love them. I love them more. But this is a wonderful ripe tree, ripe fig. And I've got more. Hold on one second. Okay, I switched positions here. Now I'm up on my ladder. and a little higher than I should be. But last night I picked this, which is the first ripe that I've been able to get, the birds haven't gotten. First ripe main crop Peter's Honey. You see, it's very early. Yesterday was the 10th, today's the 11th. Look at that. Look at that glistening honey in there. Look at that. This is one of the best figs in my collection. I love, I don't care what anyone says. I'm sorry, for what it's worth. Neck on the chopping block. This particular strain, anyway, of Peter's Honey, in my opinion, is one of the best figs I've ever had in my entire collection. Through 55, 60 years of growing figs and being raised in a fig lover's family. I love Peter's Honey. And, you know, you have to look at the total. It's a collectively, you have to add all of the pluses, subtract all of the minuses, and then you've got to come up with a number that reflects the general quality of a fig in your collection. And in that, of course, you've got to consider, in my zone, of course, winter hardiness, productivity, disease resistance, how it stands up to wet weather and humid weather, when it ripens, the quality of the breba, how many breba, which Peter's Honey reigns supreme as far as I'm concerned, as far as the number of breba and the quality of the breba, which are actually better than, and it's, I have a hard time telling you this. I think they're better than the main crop, and the main crop figs are so good. I don't really want to say that, but it's true. And they're larger. Most first crop figs just aren't as good as main crop figs. We know that. It doesn't do well in containers. That's a mark against it, period. I don't like it in containers. I don't like the taste of them. I don't like the tree. I don't like the performance, but I love it in ground. But here, look, there's some more getting ripe. This one's starting to crack. We've had an inordinate amount of rain this year. Even here in this location, just rain. And there's some more up there. I don't know if I can reach that far, but let's just open this one. This one's nice and ripe. This one's very ripe. Look at it. And I just want to share this moment with you. This will be my first main crop, Peter's Honey. Let me open that up. Oh, the other day I coined the phrase, glisteningly delicious. I'm going to start using that adjective now to describe my figs. There's no question. This is glisteningly delicious. How do I know it's delicious? Because I've eaten. Okay, I'm going to say this now, and I want you to understand something. There is no exaggeration in what I'm about to say to you. I have no motive. There's no angle. There's no reason for me to say what I'm going to say to you unless it were absolutely true. And I think if you've been watching my videos, over 200 now, I've asked for nothing in return for the information I exchange with you. I do appreciate when you subscribe. It shows me that I'm being enjoyed, my videos are being enjoyed, and that I'm reaching out to people that are receiving what I'm exactly trying to transmit, and convey to them. But what I'm going to say is, and it's the truth, I have eaten thousands, not hundreds, thousands of figs off this tree alone. This has been here 29 years, 28 or 29 years at least. The same tree. Now I've cut it down, and I've cut it all the way down to the ground, and I've got 3 videos which show radical pruning, which are available to you. When I cut it down to where just a few years ago it was only 4 feet tall, I cut it all down. All this was gone, and now it's all back. Oh, there's another one. Look at that one. Wait a minute. I've got to remember to there's one dripping honey up there. Oh, wow. Well, anyway, thousands. This tree alone, I've eaten thousands of figs from this over the 28, 29 years that I've had it in the ground. Now, what does that say about the good qualities of a fig tree in your collection? Thousands. Look at them. Look at all the figs. Look at them. Okay? And you look at my other videos. Here we go. I'm going to save half of this for Debbie. And I've got, excuse me, please. I have to bite into this thing because this is my first main crop Peter's Honey. And I love my Peter's Honey figs. Oh my God. That is so superior to so many other varieties. It is so delicious. Now, how do I put this down? I got to get off the ladder. I'm not falling. Debbie doesn't like when I get on the ladder. I don't blame her. I'm getting a little older now. But she's been putting up with me for, as I said, 44 years. She deserves a medal. Gosh, for sure. On another slight, let me try to zoom in on that one. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's dripping honey and it wants me to take a little bit of video of it. Is that it there? Where is it? It's too funny. There it is. Can you see it? That little bit of, can you see the honey dripping off that? Now, after I'm finished with this video, I'm going to go over there and grab that and give it to Debbie. There's more up there. There's right ones I see them, but I want to talk about some other things. You know, I want to tell you that, and you know this, I haven't mentioned too much about the nutritional value of figs and persimmons and pomegranate and blueberries, but they're among the most nutritious fruits and vegetables that I just mentioned in the world. Figs are among the most nutritious fruits in the entire world, period. End of story. I remember Ira Condit. I studied him in great detail, the greatest figster of all times, in my opinion. And he lived to be 98, and I always attributed that. I said, wait, I wonder, Debbie, I wonder if it's because he ate so many figs from all around the world. He traveled around the world. And all my relatives lived to be old. My parents in their 90s, everybody ate figs. Oh, I see another ripe fig. And so, following after their enthusiasm for figs, I also enjoy eating them quite often. And I'm hoping that maybe I might live a few extra years too because of the health benefits derived from such a wonderful, wonderful fruit. And we can add to that persimmons and blueberries and raspberries and a lot of straw and other things that I grow, all of which I try to grow 100% organic. Sometimes there might be a little deviation. I think there's a little deviation no matter what you do in this world. But not to belabor the subject anymore, eat lots of figs. They're good for you. Bottom line, they're good for you. I love them, and I eat them all the time. I'm so happy now that the figs are getting ripe. And let's go take a look at a couple other things, okay? I'll just do this for a second so you can see on scale just how magnificent this tree really is. And how it is abundantly loaded with figs, many of which are currently getting ripe. There we go. Okay. Now we go to another location. Now here again, we're back at the Hardy Chicago. And I noticed something. This is going back and referring to the deep dive that I mentioned before. I noticed something growing up there, right there, that tall branch. Do you see it? And I was looking at it and I said, wait a minute, that doesn't quite look like the Hardy Chicago. Oh, I see a real ripe Hardy Chicago in there that I want to get. I'll get it. So I did a little bit of investigation, a little bit of deep diving, and guess what I found? Here, I'm going to go down there. By the way, this little Ronde Bordeaux is going to go right here. I prepared this space last time I was here. Right there. Next to that wonderful super fig that's growing marvelously, my Smith. And it's about 4 feet away. And I don't usually advocate or advise planting fig trees of different varieties next to one another, or even of the same variety. For a lot of reasons I won't go into right now, but I don't generally advise it. But if you're 4 foot away and you have limited space and you want to grow two of your favorite varieties, and certainly those two are, next to each other, because it's a sweet spot and you know that they're going to be protected from the winter winds. And remember, wind chill is a factor, big factor, blah, 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 blah. You can do it. If they're 4 foot away, you can do it, and they'll grow together nicely. You have to trim them in the middle and make sure that they don't overshadow one another, but it can be done, and so that's where that's going to go. Let's just walk right through here. I've got my nets out for my Celeste, and getting back to this Hardy Chicago, some more figs. There's a nice ripe fig right there. See the cracks in it? Oh boy, that one's ready. And I will eat that shortly, or bring it into Debbie. And there's another beautiful, pretty large, this variety. This isn't my favorite Mount Etna, but it sure is a tough guy. It's been here some 29, 30 years, 28, 29, 30 years at least. I've been here 31 years, so I probably put it in right around then. I don't remember. But getting back to that deep dive, I was suspicious about that. And then I started looking in here, and then I saw it. This is it. If you can see my hand, this is it. It's a skinny branch that goes all the way down to the ground and comes all the way up. It has some figs on it, which I'm going to protect. It has some figs on it. But look at these leaves. Okay? Look at these leaves. This is not a Mount Etna, and I'll tell you what it is in a second. Here's a part of it that came and grew out here. Look at this. Part of the branch came out here, and it grew all the way out here. Look at this. Look at the size of these leaves. And you might be saying, what's Lou getting at? Let's break this one off here. Okay. What's Lou getting at here? Well, I'm going to tell you. Some 30 years ago, at least, or 29 years ago, or something like that. Look at that. I planted a Mission here. A Mission fig tree. And it grew huge, and I'm not exaggerating. It was 25 feet high. It was huge. But Mission is not as hardy as a lot of the figs that you will find in this yard, in 7B. And it died back after it had so many figs. There was a very bad winter, and it just killed it all the way down to the ground. But I never dug up the roots, and I put a Hardy Chicago there. I said, well, I'll put something there a little bit more suitable. And I did, and it is, and it's still here, as you can see. There's another beautiful fig. I don't know if you can see them. I can't see because the sun's right in my face. And I'll be darned if that thing didn't grow up. And I've noticed it a few times over the years, but then it went away and then it died back. But this time, last winter, it didn't die back. And it's actually growing out of my Hardy Chicago. And it has figs on it. So I'm going to protect those figs that I'm going to enjoy on this long branch that grew up. All new growth. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, Mission, I don't know if you've read about Mission, but Mission is not only one of the most popular figs in America and widely grown commercially, but it's also the largest tree, fig tree of all the fig trees. It grows larger in size. Its stature is huge. And it is very, very prolific. It's a very delicious fig. Not the most delicious, but very delicious. All in all, it's a wonderful cultivar if you can grow it, and if you have a climate where the fig can adapt well and be productive and do what it's supposed to do. But it is a massive tree, and it grows very, very quickly, as you can see. Look at all that new growth. This is incredible. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Look at those leaves. So different than the Mount Etna type. See, here's the Mount Etna type. See there? Okay. Just another observation, an interesting observation. And I try to be alert. I try to see what's going on in my orchard. I want to know what's going on in my orchard. And you discover all kinds of things, like I've been pointing out in my deep dive series. I just did another video deep diving the Mount Etnas, and I'm going to release that soon too. Then I'll probably release this after that. I don't know, I'm starting to get too many videos, and I like to space them out a little bit. We'll see what happens. So this is one of my Celeste, and they're starting to get, the birds are getting to my Celeste, even though I have a net on it. I was through here this morning. Last night I gobbled a couple delicious. There's one. I gobbled up a couple because I just love my figs, and I'm always looking forward to eating them during my drive. So let's try and pick this one here. You can see no bird has gotten this one. This is just a little one, but there's something about it. Let's pick it. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I see another one too. Okay, we got that. All right, I gotta get a couple. And there's quite a few in there. There's some. Look at that. Now remember in my last video where I featured this, I called this Ordinary Celeste. This is the smaller version, which you will usually see when you find a Celeste tree. I've got larger versions that I've talked about, different strains. But this one's real ripe. Look at that. And I just know how good that is. Debbie, forgive me. I'm going to eat this for effect here on the video because let me just bite it. Look how rich that is inside. Look at the color. It's a sugar fig, Louie. Some of my best friends call me Louie. It's a sugar fig. No, it's not. There's no such thing as a sugar. Let me tell you something. This is an extraordinary cultivar. Look at it. Rich and delicious and intense. And the more you let them ripen, and Celeste will ripen like raisins. They're just turned into like raisins. The more you let them ripen on the tree, the more delicious they are. And they have a distinctive, entirely, completely, absolutely distinctive flavor from all other figs, period. And I love that distinction. I love my Celeste figs. Certain strains especially. Some I don't that much. I mean, figs are always valuable. You can make preserves, you can eat them, they're fresh, and there's lots of them, but certain strains are, just look at it. Look at that. You know it's delicious. You can tell. Any fixture out there with experience knows that this fig is delicious. You can just look at it and you know it's delicious. Wow. Okay. I'm going to cut this short. There's another tree I want to show you, and then we'll cut it short. I'm planning. Don't tell Debbie, please. Don't tell on me. I prepared another spot for another fig variety. Gotta do it. I'm sorry. I just love my figs so much. But it's low tide. But I wanted to point out very quickly two things, not one. Last night when I got here, I saw that the birds have been eating my Italian honey figs. And I looked around and I found, see right there, I found one that they had missed. And I figured, well, if I don't get up real early, they're going to get that. So I ate it last night, and I have to tell you something. It was so good. As good as Peter's honey? No. But let me tell you, we're just splitting some hairs here, you know. I mean, you know, generally speaking, this particular tree is, for some reason, a little sweeter than most of the ones I've had over the years. This goes back, this is an heirloom, this goes family heirloom. This goes back a long time, many, many decades. I love this one, and I've improved it over the years with cuttings, and I've talked about that, and with the shoots coming up and looking for the very best, and this one tastes the best of any one that I've ever eaten. Still, it doesn't reach the rank of a Peter's honey, but it's a very, very good fig with a good amount of breba, none this year. This is a young tree, and I kind of fashioned it so that I sculptured it so that the deer wouldn't eat it so much. I have a problem with the deer here. They keep munching down my trees until they get big enough to where they can't reach them. And it's certainly worthy of my collection, and it is in my collection, and it will remain in my collection. And it's a wonderful, 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 hardy, very hardy. Italian honey is a very hardy, if you live in my harsh zone, fig. It's very dependable, reliable, productive, and it's delicious. It has breba, it has delicious main crop. It's early. They'll all be ripe during the warm summer season. It's a good one. I highly recommend it. If you want a no-nonsense tree to put in your yard to where you're going to pick figs. Give me some figs. I want some figs. And I know you want some figs. Figsters want figs. And this I showed you once already this year. And this is Taramo Unknown, which was introduced to the fig community by Big Bill of Off the Beaten Path Nursery near Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And they are getting ripe. See, look at that. See the different leaf pattern? This is not Celeste. This is Taramo Unknown. I reached in there. I gobbled 2 down last night, and I should have waited. I made a mistake. There's still some in here that are ripe. I remember seeing them wherever the heck they are. They're in here somewhere. Maybe they're not. Maybe something got in there. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that's real ripe, but getting ripe. Okay. Well, you get the point. Look at all the figs on this thing. Look at all the figs on Taramo Unknown, and I certainly will be enjoying more of them by tomorrow. And if I look around, I might be able to find another riper one. Okay, well, thank you for your visit. I'm having a lot of fun here. There's lots of figs getting ripe. I love this time of year. My beautiful, beautiful crepe myrtle. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? See, I do grow other things besides figs. I told the story of my grandfather, after whom I am named. His name was Luigi. And he used to tell me all the time, no eat, no grow. No eat, no grow. Meaning if you can't eat it, you don't grow it. But he had a few things. I caught him growing a few things that were flowering plants every now and then. Because he was a grower. He was a real gardener. He had it in his blood. Maybe that's where I got it. I don't know. And I grow a few things besides figs. And of all of the things that I grow, of all the flowering plants, and I have some roses over there too I should show, which I love. Crepe myrtle is my favorite. And one of the reasons is that when it starts to flower, it flowers for a full month or 5 weeks, a long, long time, a long season. of flowering. And they're so beautiful. And there's so many colors to select from. And it's just a wonderful tree. Look how beautiful the bark is. Look how unique. Look how wonderful and beautiful. I just love crepe myrtle. So if you haven't grown any crepe myrtle, they're very winter hardy, by the way. At least I know to 7A. Probably a zone colder than that. If you haven't grown any, you might want to consider, if you have space enough, to put a crepe myrtle. I have two. Hold on, I'll show you the other one. Hey, I found that ripe fig on the Tarama Unknown. You see that one in there with the cracks on it? Let me see if I can. Where is it? I can't see worth a darn today. There it is. You see it in there? I'll get it next. But I want to show you this other crepe myrtle. It's not as big as that one. It's the same color. It's a little tree, but it's a wonderful tree. All these will blossom and bloom. Isn't that a beauty? Gosh, I love this tree. I love these trees. Let's see here. Some oysters and some minnows down in the creek. There's a lot of people driving around today. This is the season. This is the summer season. This is my JH Adriatic, which I don't have to net yet because they get ripe a little later. It won't be too long. A gift from an old friend, now deceased. Okay, now back to my labor of love. I've got some more Peter's honey to devour, to pick and devour. Thank you for your visit. Good day. Having a little bit of difficulty getting in here. This one's a little high. Ha, look at that. Oh boy. Oh. Oh wow. And I almost said goodbye before that. Ooh, that's a beauty. Look at that. Gosh. I so love this variety. Well, this one's gone to Debbie. The whole fig. Again, once again, thank you for your visit. Good day.